Let's talk about the Tekashi and Chief Keef situation that's going on right now. I was following this for a little bit. I don't really even know how it started. I do recall a video being shot not long ago, maybe a couple days ago, that showed up on my Twitter feed where Tekashi is basically saying fuck Chief Keef and Lil Reese and the whole Chicago scene. And I guess I wouldn't normally cover this if it weren't for the reaction I'm seeing from the fan base and the people who are quote unquote fans of hip hop and fans of rap music. If it weren't for their reactions, I don't really think I'd be making this video and feel the need to chastise Tekashi 6IX9INE for his comments towards Chief Keef and Lil Reese. But I'm gonna do it because this shit is getting insane. The tweets that I'm seeing, the comments that I'm seeing, the points of reference that I'm seeing people speak from are ridiculous. And it's only annoying to me because I know they know nothing about what they're speaking about. Let me preface this by saying Tekashi 6IX9INE and Chief Keef are two totally different types of artists. Chief Keef, much like many other street artists, find rap music and hip hop as a way out of their current environment. That's it. We're never gonna hear Chief Keef or Sosa or Lil Reese or Kodak Black or Boosie talking about wanting to be top 5 in the rap game, because that's not where their prerogative is. It's to get the money so they can get out of their environment or find a way out of their situation. So the things that mean something to Tekashi don't mean shit to Chief Keef. They came up in two totally different ways, and they have two totally different values in that respect. Chief Keef isn't following the rap game, he isn't following the industry, he's not sitting here trying to make sure that his name is good to the public. I don't think he cares about that. How many disses or beefs do we really see Chief Keef in? If your answer is few, it's probably because he doesn't care about it. But then I move over to the fan base. The fan base that listens to hip hop today, they glorify this bullshit. The beef between Tekashi and Chief Keef that may be one-sided or may be mutual. People are making jokes about saying that Chief Keef is gonna kill Tekashi 6IX9INE. If that were a thought, if it were a possibility in your head, which for a lot of these people making these jokes, it is a very real possibility. Why then make jokes about it? And then I think the demographic today that follows hip hop and follows rap, most like probably 8 out of 10 of them, 8 out of 10 people who claim to be rap fans don't usually relate to about 90% of what rap originated for, which was, you know, to go against systemic racism and basically rapping about, you know, their environment, having to deal with drugs and having to deal with, you know, the hood and everything like that. 90% of fans who listen to hip hop and rap music don't even know what these rappers are talking about. A lot of you don't understand why Vic Mensa had that rant on Everyday Struggle last year. And it's because people who didn't know about that culture, who didn't know about that side, were making light of situations that occur on a daily basis. Now, I'm not saying you have to like Tekashi 6IX9INE. I'm not saying you have to like Chief Keef. What I am saying is the possibility of someone dying shouldn't be made a joke out of, is all I'm saying. And if you knew the severity of that, you wouldn't be making a joke about it. That's my point. Let me go to Tekashi 6IX9INE though, because this is really his fault. Now, I told you in the beginning of the video that Chief Keef was the type of artist that comes into the rap game as a way out of his environment. Not trying to be the best, not trying to be top 5, not trying to care about his rap reputation because he came from the street. We have a dude like Tekashi who adamantly talks about his numbers in rap, adamantly talks about his streams, adamantly talks about his sales, his revenue, his money, and being the king, quote unquote, of New York. I don't know if you want to call Tekashi a troll. I don't know, whatever you want to call him. I don't know if you want to call him entertaining. You can't, as a rapper, start beef or say fuck another rapper who spawned from the street, who didn't come into the game trying to be a rapper, and then go back on it and say, oh, I was just trolling, or treat it as if it were a joke, because it's not. And see, this kind of behavior, in my opinion, desensitizes fans who already don't know shit about that culture and makes them think that Tekashi joking about this shit is okay. I don't know what it is about people. These people will hurt you. I don't know why people think it's funny or it's a game. It's not. It's not fucking funny. It's not something to post for retweets. It's not something to post to get your social media following up. It's real. I was having a conversation with somebody on Twitter, obviously, the other day, and I said it's funny how people say the strangest shit to you online. The second they hit a whiff of the second they feel or get a whiff of a response, they completely backtrack. And I said it's weird to do something like that because, for one, I can't touch you for whatever you say through the internet. The next thing I know, there's a dude underneath that post that says, "Yo, you're trying to act tough. Who's afraid of you touching them? You about $140, $150." I would have loved for this dude who's physically seems much larger than me. I would have loved to help him understand that don't mean shit. People look at their circumstances differently. For a guy like Chief Keef, in his situation, his way out was rapping. His way out was hip hop. His way out was using a platform that so many before him had used to popularize themselves and make a name for themselves. That was his way. That was his method. Because there were only two options for a guy like that. I'm not trying to denounce him and I'm not trying to disrespect him. There's two options for a dude that comes up in that way that isn't provided tools outside of that. So when I was trying to tell the dude, yo, they don't fight where I'm from. I don't know why you think that you being bigger than someone means that you are going to best them. In the street or in this culture, it's not about whose ass you beat that gets you respect. It's about who survives. It's about if XYZ disrespected you. It's not about, oh, you gotta beat his ass. This is somebody that has to die now, and you don't get that. That's the thing. Like, you don't understand that these people have to suffer consequences for the simplest of shit. And I'm talking to a guy that does not understand that at all. Guys who think if you go to the gym enough, you can harden your skin to prevent bullets from going through them. And all of this is in reference to people that follow that hip hop, that rap, that don't know anything about it, make jokes about it, take from that culture that they don't understand, exploit it for a fucking joke. And I look at Tekashi and I look at the group that are spawning as a direct response to what he's been doing in rap, taking a culture that I can't verify he's invested in, a culture I can't even assume he was ever a part of, using that as his stepping stool to say, I am a gangster, you cannot touch me. A guy that is genuinely from the street does not behave the way Tekashi 6IX9INE behaves. He just doesn't. So Tekashi can be a troll, that's fine, but I want y'all to understand something. Just because you grew up poor doesn't mean you grew up in the hood. You didn't have a struggle because you had money issues. You weren't at risk of gang violence, and you weren't at risk of your family being taken from you. You weren't at risk while you were going to a public school. You weren't at risk while you were going to the bus stop. You weren't at risk while you were going to the liquor store. You just didn't have money. That doesn't mean you grew up in the hood. And for Tekashi, I get a lot of that same, let me take a culture or take a system that I don't know that much about, promote myself as if I'm a part of that, troll the people who are actually in it so I can make it seem like I'm hard. Because if he does it enough times, he'll start to believe it. And that's why when I look at that video and I see those dudes in the video, I'm like, y'all, none of y'all want to be here. None of y'all want to be here. And because you don't want to confront your pride and say, you know what, this might not be a good idea. This might be bad for me. The chick in the video knew to get out of the way. Y'all think it's a joke. And like I said, to me, it's just disgusting that I see people making jokes about it, because this shit actually happens on a day-to-day basis. It's not covered, but it's only being covered because Tekashi 6IX9INE is trolling. And the people that think they're better than Tekashi that are making jokes about him possibly dying are just as bad. This is why I don't cover beef that goes beyond music, because it's frustrating, because I know I'm talking to some people that just don't understand what I'm saying. And then there'll be another group of people out there that'll say, oh, you're trying to be tough. I'm just talking about my experiences. I don't care about being tough and all that other shit. Half of you will never be where I've been. So I don't need to prove myself to people who don't know me. But these rappers that have an image to sell, they do have something to prove. And since they don't want to confront their pride, they end up dying because of shit like this. I don't want to go on forever. Get in the comment box. Let me know what you think. Is this a problem? And it should stop. It should stop, in my opinion. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Lighter videos. I don't like this type of video. and I'm out. Peace.